Hello everyone, welcome back to the AWS Cloud Engineer Essential series. My name is Dheeraj and in today's tutorial we are going to set up and explore one of the most powerful tool for AWS Cloud Engineers, that is AWS Command Line Interface, also known as AWS CLI. So with AWS CLI, you can manage your cloud resources directly from the terminal, automate tasks with scripts, and speed up your workflow without relying on the console every time. In this video, we will cover how to install and configure the AWS CLI, run some basic commands, and even see how it is being used for automation. By the end, you will have everything you need to start working with AWS CLI confidently. So let's get started with AWS CLI setup and understanding the basics of AWS CLI. So let's start by answering a simple question. What is AWS CLI? So AWS Command Line Interface is a tool that lets you interact with AWS services directly from your terminal using commands instead of clicking around in the web console. It works across all major platforms, Windows, macOS, and Linux. So no matter what environment you're working in, AWS CLI is available for you. The real power of CLI comes from the automation and scripting background. So instead of manually repeating tasks in the console, you can run commands or create scripts to handle them automatically, saving your time and reducing the human error. Because many a times, if you are being tasked to do a work, you might miss to configure something or align your code with something. But if you have a documented script that you have to run every time, there is very less human error chances. So in short, AWS CLI is must-have tool for cloud engineers who want to work faster, automate processes, and manage AWS resources efficiently. Now let's see how to install AWS CLI. So to install AWS CLI, the first thing you have to do is you have to download the AWS CLI from their official website, which is amazon.com, and always make sure to use the official source to avoid any security risk. And once it is downloaded, then you can go ahead and install on the platform that you want. And at the end, we will run AWS dash version, which will help us know whether it has been installed successfully or not. So let's replicate this step by jumping to our browser. So here I will type AWS CLI install. As soon as I type, the first link that I get is from amazon.com. So I will click on this link. And as soon as I click on this link, it has given me the list of AWS CLI install and update instruction. We are not going to update, we are going to install. So for that, there are three different environments. Linux, for Linux, you have to run this command to install it. Then if I go ahead and see macOS, so for macOS, you have to do it in this way. This is the GUI installer where you can go ahead and install this package, and then it is going to install step by step based on the configuration that you do on the GUI, as we are going to do it for Windows. Now, last but not the least, the last one is for Windows, for which we are going to do. So I'm going to click on this link. As soon as I click, it is going to install the binary for me, as you can see over here. Okay, the binary is installed. Now, as soon as I install the binary, it gives me this pop-up and I will click on next. I accept the terms in the license agreement and I will do next again. Then it is going ahead and asking me to configure a location for it to be installed. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and install it in the C drive instead of the program folder, and this is going to be my path. I'll press on OK, and here it is ready. Next, what I'm going to do is I am going to click on next, and it is going to give you a pop-up where I will be clicking on install. As soon as I click on install, over here you can see the installation have started successfully. So once your installation is finished, what you have to do is you have to go ahead and open your command prompt. As soon as you open your command prompt, over here we can start configuring. But before that, there is one important step that people usually miss. So after installing CLI, what we're going to do is we are first going to create an IAM user. Now, why it is important? Because it is recommended that you create an IAM user with specific permission based on which the CLI user that you are going to use, it will have limited least privilege based on which the commands that he's going to use, he can manipulate the data or resources accordingly. Now, to do this step, we will jump back to the console. This is the AWS console that where I have already logged in, and I'm going to search for IAM. As soon as I search for IAM, I'll click on IAM and I will click on users and I will click create user. As soon as I click create user, over here I will say dev CLI_dev user. So for this user, I don't want to provide him AWS Management Console because he is only going to work from the CLI. I will do next. As soon as I do next, it is asking me should it align it to developers group? Yes, it can be because it is having S3 full permission. And then I will click on next, and you will see the user is being created. Once the user has been created successfully, we are going to click on that user, and then the next step for us is to create access key. I will click on create access key and then use cases, in which I will click on command line interface and I will say I understand. Once this is done, I will go ahead and click next, and I will click on, you can give tag to the access key that you are creating, which is a best practice, but right now I'm not doing it. Click on create access key and your access key is created successfully. Once your access key is created successfully, you can download the CSV file over here, which will be having your credentials, and it will look something like this, where you will have your access key and you will have your secret access key. Now, why we are downloading it? Because we are going to require it when we are going to configure our AWS CLI. Now, let's see what's our next step. So we have created our user, we have created the access key. Now we are going to go ahead and run the AWS CLI configure command, which is going to help us install it. So let me just take you to next slide. Over here, this is the command that we're going to run: AWS configure -- profile dev. So this is the dev profile that I'm going to create, for which I will go to our command prompt and I will tell over here AWS configure -- profile space dev. Once I do this and I will click on enter, it is going to ask for the access key ID. This is the same access key ID that we downloaded, right? And I will take you to our access key ID. This is our access key ID. I will copy this and paste it here. Click enter. Then our secret access key. I will go ahead and copy this and paste it here and click on enter. Now it is saying default region name. So right now there is no default region name, but what we can do is we can go ahead and see right now what is our region in which we are working. So if I go to AWS console and if I go to Singapore, it is AWS AP Southeast 1, in which we are. So it will be AP Southeast 1. I will just check it again. It is AP Southeast 1. AP Southeast 1. I will hit on enter. That is going to be my default region name. And over here, the output type can be multiple. I will keep it as JSON and I will click on enter. Once I do this, my dev profile or CLI user is been created successfully. Now to see how many how many CLI user profiles exist, what we can do is we can go ahead and run the command AWS configure list profile. And if I enter, see there are two profiles. One is default profile, which was for my root account, and one is dev profile that I created right now in front of you. Then now, if I go ahead and say AWS configure list, it is going to show me what is the default profile. Right now there is no default profile. So right now there is no profile which has been set. So it is going to use the default profile. But if you set the profile, it is going to change it over here. So to do that, what we are going to do is I'll clear this out, and I am going to say export AWS underscore profile is equal to our profile name, that is dev profile, and I will hit on enter. Done. Now I am going to go ahead and run the command once again, and you can see our dev profile is now the profile which is a default profile. So whatever commands I'm going to run now, it is going to go ahead and run from my dev profile. Now if you want to take it back to the default profile, just go ahead and run the same command, and it will switch back to the default profile. So let me clear the screen, and let me take you back to our slides. So we created our profile, then we added access key, secret key, default region, and the output format, which can be JSON, text, or table. I preferred the JSON format. Then what's next? Once we do this, the next step is to see if the commands are really working. Now, before I run the command, let me tell you how exactly the command is structured. So usually when you do use the AWS CLI command, it is in this format. It starts with AWS, then the service name, then the command, and the options or parameters that you have for it. So over here you can see all of these three commands are starting with AWS. So AWS S3, that is service name, and then the command. Then AWS EC2, then the command. Then AWS IAM, then the command. As well as there are many parameters also that you can find in the official documentation. So instead of talking about the commands, let me go ahead and say AWS CLI commands. So there is an official documentation, a reference documentation. You can go ahead and search it for any of the service. If I go ahead and search it for S3, so this is S3. I will click on S3, and you can see a list of commands which are available, and copy command, move command, remove command when you are going to move and remove the file from the S3 bucket. So every command over here. So right now we are going to see the ls command. If I click on ls command, this is how your ls command you can use in multiple ways. So along with ls command, as I said, you can use multiple parameters or command references over here. Okay, that is a command options. So this is the option, this is the global options, and this is example of how it can be used. This is AWS S3LS, right? So when you do this, it is going to give you this kind of output. Now, if you want to list prefixes of objects in a bucket, you can use this command, that is S3 Amazon S3 bucket, which is going to list the prefixes. Then you can also go ahead and list the objects. There are multiple commands that you can run. So for doing this activity, you don't have to log into the console, open S3 service, and check for the available buckets which are available in S3. So now let's jump back over here and first run our command AWS S3ls, and it is going to list all the different buckets that I have available over here, and these are all the buckets which are available. The same way you can use other commands too, but I am not sure whether those commands are going to work. The reason for that is I have not given appropriate permission. But let's see, if we don't give appropriate permission, what kind of error it might give. So I would say AWS EC2 and describe instances. See, the reason for that is the IAM user that I created I have not authorized that IAM user to perform any activity on EC2 instance. This is how you can create your CLI user, and when your CLI user is going to perform any operation, that IAM user should have appropriate permission. So this shows you that how you can create your IAM user, how you can install, how you can create an IAM user profile, how you can switch between the profile, and what kind of operation he can perform based on the permissions that you have granted to that specific user. Now let's get back to our slides to talk about why we use CLI. The main reason of using CLI is automation. And one of the biggest strength of AWS CLI really is automation. So instead of running single commands one at a time, so right now I ran AWS S3 LS. So instead of AWS S3 LS, you can run 3 different commands of AWS S3, put that into a script and run that script directly. So if you have to run 10 commands, it will run all the commands and you will get all the outputs. And even the output that you're getting, you can also store that output as part of a TXT file. Then you can give that TXT file to the automation script, which is going to process that TXT file and perform further operations. So that is how you can use. So let's take an example. What you can do is you can create an S3 bucket first, then that will be command number 1. Then the second command would be upload a file to that bucket. So these are dependent to each other, right? Till the time the S3 bucket is not created, you cannot upload, right? So first we are going to create an S3 bucket, then we are going to upload a file to that bucket, and then we are going to list what all files are available in that bucket. So this is incredibly useful for repetitive tasks that you don't want to do manually in the console every time. So even better, AWS CLI integrates seamlessly with DevOps tools and workflows, making it powerful ally for continuous integration and deployment pipelines. So with scripting, AWS CLI moves from being a simple command tool to a fully automation engine for your cloud task that you have to perform. And before we wrap up, let's quickly go over some important best practices for AWS CLI. First, always use IAM users instead of root account, as I showed you. The root account has unlimited power and should only be used for very specific administrative tasks. So the default profile that I was having, it was my root profile. Second, rotate your access keys regularly. This reduces the risk of exposure in case a key ever gets compromised. So the key that I created, you can actually change that key also. And at one time, you can create only 2 keys. Okay. Third, if you work with multiple AWS accounts, make use of named profiles the way I did that for you. So this makes switching between accounts simple and safe without having to reconfigure everything every time. And finally, enable MFA, multi-factor authentication, for the IAM user. This adds an extra layer of protection beyond just the access key and password. And following these best practices will help you use the AWS CLI in a secure and professional way, the way you work in your company or organization. And that brings us to the end of our tutorial on AWS CLI setup and scripting basics. So we covered the CLI, what the CLI is, how to install and configure it, some basic commands, and how to use it for automation, and wrapped up with the best practices that I always prefer. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dheeraj Chaudhary, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out for further assistance. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss the next tutorial coming up for you in AWS Cloud Engineer Essential series. So keep building, and I will see you in the next video.